I'm joined now by Mark Zieg, who's in charge of beef marketing in Bord Bia. Mark, 2017, it was a very positive year for Irish beef export.
Absolutely, yes. In spite of higher numbers, which normally you would expect that pushing out that amount of additional cattle and going up to kills of 40,000 head, that was going to have a negative impact. But no, we've seen a record in the last 10 years of our output, our exports at over 550,000 tonnes, and that putting records into the UK, into the continent in terms of total volume, and crucially into international markets as well.
Yeah, in spite of sterling weakening further in 2017, our UK business has in fact increased. What do you put that down to?
Well, relatively good demand is maintained in the UK. A little bit less in terms of numbers out of the UK themselves. You know that high prices were high there as well for British cattle, and just I think those strong links that we have with the trade there. That the policy of British and Irish beef buying, the strong position we have in the retailers. And in the food service, the key food service accounts. So, with that British and Irish buying policy, once that is there, it gives us really the leg up in that market.
And yet we have only access to 3 of the major UK supermarkets out of the top 10, I think it is. Is there anything that we can do to get into the others to access the rest, given the strength and obviously the research findings that you presented to the seminar this morning? Is there anything we can do to penetrate more of those supermarkets?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we're working at the whole time and have been doing over the last 10 years. We've done a lot of insight work in the UK over the last couple of years, talking to consumers. We're going to see some insight work as well last year, where we see that the propensity to buy Irish is very high. It's right up there with the home nations.
We're not persuading the retailers.
Look, different retailers have taken different positions. It's a competitive thing, and some of them have gone on an all British, and they tend to be the smaller retailers that can, the likes of Marks and Spencers or Morrisons or whatever, that can afford to do that. But with the larger retailers that need the volumes, they need the Irish beef, and Irish beef is needed in the market because it is so close to the market. It can be there in volume. It can be there, crucially, to the same specifications as British beef, which any other import would not be able to do at the current time.
I suppose the other big positive of 2017 was the growth of international markets, probably at the expense of mainland European ones. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, well, it's just really good demand. There's strong consumption in especially Asia. We put a lot of beef through Hong Kong, Philippines. The real star in it, I suppose, at about 19,000 tonnes. That's unprecedented, and it's just that region is drawing in a lot. Also, other markets. Switzerland, not in the EU, but it's a strong market for premium beef. The US still over 2,000 tonnes.
US remains disappointing. Actual volume was slightly down in 2017 from a very low base already in 2016.
Yeah, we have a small share of the imports into that market, but it is crucial on a number of specific cuts like flanks and briskets. We would like to access the meat for grinding, and we have actually access for that, but there are a number of technical issues with it, and it's not just quite as attractive as it might have been 3-4 years ago.
Finally, Mark, I suppose the last thing is your thoughts for 2018. Will it be more of the same, or do you see anything different in the coming year?
Well, more of the same wouldn't be bad, and I think that's really sort of what's coming up, is that in Europe we might have a little less production. That'll create opportunities for us on the continent. Consumption is strong. International markets, yet the big exporters, US and Australia and India, it has to be said, on the buffalo meat, they will have more beef. That will give us competition in a lot of the markets. But the import demand from places like China, from Japan again, from South Korea, these are all markets that we're either in or hopefully will be very close to be in, is very strong, and it's sucking in beef from everywhere. So it's a good, demand is outstripping supply internationally.
Mark Zieg, thank you very much.
Thank you.